and Dove playing for you here. Gosh, it seems early, it seems cold. It is Good Friday here on Pure West Radio. Welcome back to the show, and I've got to say a very good morning to Owain Davis, who has been in touch with a good morning all, and all being Tom Dyer, myself,
Morning.
and of course the lovely Bill Carne from Pembrokeshire Sport. Morning, Bill.
Good morning, Tina. Good morning, Tom. It's lovely to be with you. It's a nice Good Friday morning. It's very foggy here in Trefgarne, but I've been told by Tom it's going to clear, so I'll count on him for that. And looking forward to a busy sporting weekend, because it is busy.
Well, the thing is, lots of people have time off, don't they? Like you say, the weather's going to be lovely. Lots of people have time off, and it is going to be a big sporting weekend. So can't wait to find out what is going to be played and where, Bill.
There's a lot going on. It starts today. Haverfordwest County are home this afternoon, which is unusual on a Good Friday. I assumed the game would be floodlit, but it's not. They're playing my old town, Pontypridd United. That's going to be interesting.
Which side are you on then, Bill, today?
Haverfordwest County, very much so now. I'm a Haverfordwest County. I'm a Pembrokeshire boy now. 50-something years since I lived in Pontypridd, and they say you can take the boy out of a town, you can't take the... And that's true. Yeah. I'm still very proud of my roots, but no, I'd be cheering the Bluebirds on today.
Lovely.
And that kickoff time is earlier than usual, as you just said. And also, Pure West Radio are going to be there as well, Bill. So you'll have Toby there providing some entertainment. But the breaking news at the Bridge Meadow, they released a statement yesterday, didn't they, Bill?
Yes, to say that they have not passed the rather demanding conditions laid down for the licence for safety for the stadium. We've got the UEFA licence, but not the Welsh FA Tier 1 licence, which is the sort of checkbook for getting into, if you like, the Welsh Premier. You can't play there without that. I mean, this year, Llantwit Major didn't get in when they won the JD Cymru South. Pontypridd got in a second team there. Not because the stand wasn't in the best condition, as Haverfordwest isn't, but because they didn't have the number of seats available. So it's a bit of a worry. I'm sure Rob Edwards and his staff there onto it, and I'm sure that although it's alarming, it will sort itself out. I'm fairly confident of that.
No, and it would be a shame if it couldn't be sorted out, because Haverfordwest are showing some real good promise. They travelled away to Flint, as we discussed last week, and they're doing well.
I can only feel very sorry for everyone involved there, but particularly Tony Pennock, because he's brought in, he inherited a team, he's changed it slightly, he's tweaked it, he's done a great job. He didn't want to be worrying about whether they're going to be playing next year, whether the players will be happy with that, with 3 games to go. It's a bit of a worry for everybody there, but I'm sorry for Tony in particular with that,
Yeah. And the Pontypridd, their side that they haven't necessarily been able to get maximum points for. Of course, they were only promoted last season, but they've also turned their second half of their season around, haven't they? They're also on a good run.
Yeah, indeed. If you'd said sort of after 4 or 5 or 6 games, Pontypridd looked sort of red hot favourites to go straight back down, as a number of clubs have done, and they've sort of cleared that area. And I know in the normal part of the season where everyone played everyone else, they drew 1-1 at the Bridge Meadow and then won at home, and they've also beaten Haverfordwest in the second Tier 2 now, as we call it, the conference section. They've beaten Haverfordwest at home with that, and they are still there for 4 or 5 points behind Haverfordwest. So in theory, they could get that coveted 7th place, starting with the game at the Bridge Meadow. So it's a tough one for Haverfordwest. They're playing an informed team, that's for sure.
Yeah, and talking of inform, he hasn't played many this season because of injury, but Corey Shepherd played last week. What a talisman in the middle.
Yeah, he scored a good goal, as did Jordan Davis. It's funny, we always say you never know who you're going to meet in service stations. We were coming back from Carne on Wednesday night at about 7:30, and who should be strolling across? I'll be careful saying this. I don't want to get him into trouble. It was Corey and a friend in their tracksuits from Haverfordwest County, coffee in hand, and they said, "Oh, we didn't know you live up here." I said, "No, I don't. I live in Pembrokeshire. I'm just going home. Where are you going?" He said, "We're going down to training." I said, "You're a bit late." He said, "Yeah, it starts at 8. No, that was 7:30 in Pont Abraham." he lives up in the Rhondda Valley. So we had a little chat about his goal, and he meandered off to his car. Then, not a care in the world. He's that sort of guy. But yeah, he's playing well, and he is a talisman. There's no doubt about that. Good goals from Corey Shepherd and Jordan Davis. The beauty, Gina, and if you like your football, you can always watch every goal from the West Premier on Scorio, and some of the women's, and some of the the second tier of it, the Cymru South and North. So yeah, it's they're going well, but this is the side that seems to have the hold on them, like Haverfordwest have had on Flint. Good win against Flint last week. That's 2 wins and a draw against them. So all to play for this afternoon.
Yeah, it is. And as I said, the Purist Radio are going to be there. Sticking with Yorgie Bridge Meadow, I know that they haven't got the numbers for JD football next season. However, it's still the place to be if you're a Pembrokeshire football side to play your semi-finals. And there's been a rearranged date for the matches for one of the matches that was rained off last week or the week before.
Yeah, I think both have been rearranged now. Fortunately, I need to check the one, but in the semi-final for the Senior Cup, the Pembrokeshire one, that's going to be played between Kilgetty and Monkton Swifts at the Yorgie Bridge Meadow next Tuesday night on the 11th of April, 7 o'clock. And then the final, the same venue, Saturday, the 29th of April. Now, I think the West Wales Cup Intermediate Cup semi-final, Carew against Hakin. I think they've got a date for that now, but I'm not sure. So I won't say it on air in case I'm wrong. But that has been organised now in the near future at the Bridge Meadow. And can I just go back, because Gina was so brilliant last week with nicknames.
Oh, heck.
I wanted to ask her, what is the nickname of Pontypridd United?
I'm going to say the Dragons.
You're looking it up now.
Never. No, I know this stuff, Bill.
I know. So if I'd asked Tom that, he wouldn't have had a clue. So
not a clue. I would have said something about the Bridgemen or something. I would have definitely not gone for the Dragons.
Yeah. So in full marks, you'll be tested next week again.
Okay. I'll do my homework, sir.
And they're called the Dragons, but they play in their away games. I always think they look like council workers on a roadside, only they're a bit quicker. They wear the brightest red, orange shirts and shorts you've ever seen. So
they
dark
do.
glasses tomorrow, folks. Or
Today. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need the floodlights when Pontypridd are in town. Keeping with Pembrokeshire football, then, Bill. We were talking about this on Monday evening, actually, just how the permutations of the top and the bottom of that first division, they're so close, and there's still a lot of teams still vying for that top spot and and to stay in that top flight. It's real. Yeah. It's a real testing time.
Absolutely, Sinclair's, I think it's fair to say, are down now from Division 1. But they're still, Tish have had a bit of a revitalisation, St. Ishmael's, and they're trying to push past teams like Fishguard Sports now. So at the bottom end, but of course the big issue has been Hakin United's success up the line this year has been magnificent. They're going to play 3 games a week now. They won 2 this week. And if you want to know how strong they are, they beat Clabs Road 2-0. Clabby then finished their fixtures. Hakin still got about 6 left. But then they played last night, Hakin, against Merlin's Bridge, 2nd versus 3rd. Score 5-1 to the Vikings, and the Merlin's Bridge goal scored in the last minute by Lewis Miller, young lad from Hook. But, that's how good Hakin are. They put 5 goals on Merlin's Bridge twice this year. And, of course, now all roads for tomorrow will lead to Phoenix Park, because with a couple of games left, whatever Hakin, I don't think they'll lose any games. The last game I think we'll decide is tomorrow, and at Phoenix Park, Goodwick United against Hakin United. So it's going to be quite an occasion, because on the adjoining pitch then, there's another local derby in the rugby, because Fishguard and Goodwick are playing Milford. So there'll be plenty of the fish heads in Goodwick tomorrow.
There is indeed. Rumour has it, Bill, that the JD Cymru Premier moved the Haverfordwest Pontypridd match to the Friday so people could go to Phoenix Park on the Saturday. Rumour has it.
Well, hey, people say that lightheartedly, but I can think of some people who will love to watch both, including myself and Mr. Thomas.
Yes. that match tomorrow, tomorrow at Phoenix Park, that's a cup final match, isn't it? That's going to be a massive fixture.
It means, and it's local football, it's amateur football. I always say play for fun, but there'll be plenty of spirit. All I hope is both sides, there's real rivalry between them, but it must be rivalry, not hatred. And I just want them to have a cracking game of football. It'll need a strong referee because both sides will tackle hard, will push for sort of the supremacy, and I hope it'll go tomorrow and be a credit to Premiership football because they're two fine sides. If you look at them, they are far. They ought to be playing, I think, in the West Wales Premier now. It means a huge commitment, and Pembrokeshire will lose a little in some ways, but they should be playing there. They are magnificent teams. There isn't a blinking weakness in either. There isn't.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be quite the fixture. And then you touched there on the rugby as well, taking place on the adjoining pitch. The full schedule of rugby, isn't there?
There is a full schedule almost. There's a couple of sides not playing in Division 5, but if you want me to run through them quickly, in the Championship, My State Quins entertain Narberth, and Narberth won 31-3 at home, so they'll be looking to do well there. Crimmock is the remarkable story in Pembrokeshire rugby this year. They've played 14, won 13, drawn 1. All of their players come from the area, except Jonathan Clout, who's from Haverfordwest, and has gone there to gain experience in the front row. It's a remarkable story. They're a fantastic group of boys. I mean, would you believe, Gina, their number 8 can only play when he's not singing in France or Germany.
I was going to say, is the opera singer in with them? Yeah, yes, isn't he? Amazing.
And he is, and if you log on to Tristan Griffiths and listen to him, he is a stunning singer. So Crimmock go to Hendy this week, who are 8th. Last week, Crimmock beat Llangennych, who are a real threat for the title. I think Crimmock's aim is to get in the top 3 because that will give them promotion. But good luck to them. They sneaked home 24-21 against our Hendy at home, so that's a battle. Pembroke are playing Gorsinan, bottom versus 5th. That's going to be another hard game for Pembroke. But they're completing their fixtures. They're doing it whatever is needed. Last week, 4 of the youngsters were playing on the adjoining pitch for the youth against Aber. And because they'd started earlier, they came on in the second half as replacements, which is allowed. And amazing that they gained experience with that. And of course, Whitland, who are next to bottom, are home to Penclow. That's 11th versus 10th. It's 24 all in the first half of the season, so they're tough as well. Division 2, there's that aforementioned Fishguard and Goodwick versus Milford Haven. When they played at the Hobbs, it was 23 all.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, so that's going to be a battle royal as well. The trouble is, I'll be darting back and forth as I want to see.
yeah.
I think what I'll do is I'll get a step ladder and stand in a bit of Wheatstone
on the roof.
You can watch from the Phoenix Centre, which is a magnificent viewpoint. But it means running through the bar and getting through all the people having a drink in there to try and get to see him. You miss a lot that way. And then Tenby United, who had a slip up last week, they've gone down to 4th. They're playing Bury Port, who won at home against Tenby by 25-19. In Division 3 West A, Pembroke Harlequins in 9th. They travelled to Tregaron, who are bottom, but play with a lot of spirit. And in the other games there, St David's entertained Neyland. That'll be a battle. Neyland won 7-3 when they were home. Cardigan are home to Langham, won 69-0 in the first game at Langham. So Langham got a lot to do there. So there's plenty to play for. And on Wednesday night, Tom and Gina, there were 2 games in Pembrokeshire with quite special significance, if you don't mind me mentioning them. In the Knockout Cup final, semi-final Knockout Cup, which is the big competition in Pembrokeshire, Crimmock travelled to Fishguard and Goodwick and won 17-6 in that awful weather. And the lights are not the best in Fishguard. They started early and played in late, but there was 17 minutes added time on in the second half. They must enjoy the game so much they want to stay out there. And in the other game, Haverfordwest Rugby Club launched their brand new floodlit system. It was opened by Charles Davis, who's spoken to us on air. He's 80-something, still runs 10K races and things, or did until last year. Yeah, he's amazing. So he opened those, which was lovely. He turned the switch on, that's what it means. And there was a little celebration after. And they celebrated with a 53-0 win over the Quins. The score didn't do justice to the Quins on a shocking night. If you look on our site, you can see the mud and the wet and the rain all
Oh.
around the outside of the pitch. You know, it's like you almost swim to get onto the pitch. That's an
Wow.
exaggeration. Or Haverford get out, yeah. But two good games, two interesting games there.
Yeah, you've just mentioned Langham there not scoring any points when they played Cardigan last. They played Aberystwyth on Saturday and put in a much better account of themselves. I think they'd lost 95-0. They actually got some scores on the doors and held them to I think only 25 points. And of course, their youth team is probably on the bus in the next hour or so, heading up to the Principality Stadium.
Oh, we wish them well. Do you know, they're a cracking bunch. Gav Bowen, their coach, is a cricketer as well, and he's looked after those well. Jonathan Willington is involved on the sort of press side of that in keeping them organised. They really are. Jeff Glasson is involved as well. A cracking bunch of people who deserve to do well. And the following in the village is immense. It'll be a ghost village today, and we wish them every success there. I hope they can emulate the ladies last week. That would be absolutely fantastic. So good luck to the young Wasps. Yeah, great.
Yeah, no, definitely. And they've had so many videos from rugby legends getting in touch. It's been quite fantastic. We've had
if I can say, they've also had a message from the President of the Irish Republic, because their captain, young O'Loughlin, is Aaron O'Loughlin, I think his name is. He is Irish descent, so they've even got one from the press.
Wow, that's amazing.
Of Ireland, not just the Irish rugby, of Ireland.
Of Ireland, that is amazing. Ryan Evans is watching us at the moment. Bill, you know Ryan well, and also. Yeah, good morning to Delton as well. He's watching as well. Ryan and Delton, what do you want to hear this morning on our Good Friday? It's a request show on the Friday, so get in touch. And you just mentioned there about you touched on it with the youth heading up to Principality Stadium. Just one more word for Whitland and Haverfordwest ladies and the turnaround in Welsh women's rugby in the last 18 months.
I think both results were amazing. What surprised me, Tom, and I don't mean to be patronising, Gina, when I say it, was the high quality of the play. I mean, I watched Whitland, and they scored tries there that would have graced any final for any man's game. It was fast and furious. Haverfordwest with the same total commitment. I know a young lady in Haverfordwest, and I won't name her because she'd be mad with me, who had never played any sport in her life. She's 37. She joined Haverfordwest, was welcomed with, open arms, because that's the Steve Barner's philosophy there. And she plays just an odd 5 or 10 minutes in games. She knows she's never going to be a world beater. She just loves the camaraderie there. And if you talk to Jana Neumann, who's the man of the match for Haverfordwest, her sister Lisa plays for the Welsh team. She's professional with Sale. You talk to her about that game and you'd have tears in your eyes, because it means so much. She hadn't picked up a rugby ball 18 months ago, and now she's a powerhouse. She's an Amazon. She is. And,
she's fantastic.
Yeah, and Emma Simmons, then the captain, is the smallest player on the field. Her mum is the treasurer of Haverfordwest County in Pembrokeshire. Her father is the first aid man or touch judge for the first and for them. Her brother plays scrum half. They're totally committed to it's a family affair, and that's how it is with that rugby. It's special. Ladies rugby, I'd implore other clubs to try and take it up now. There are only 3 in Pembrokeshire at the moment. Take it up, because it is fantastic for the club, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Well, St David's had a good recruitment drive as well, isn't there? So if you look, there's Whitland, Haverfordwest, Pembroke, St David's, but if other clubs want to give it a go, it's changing communities. It's brilliant. And you just mentioned Lisa there as well, playing up in Scotland, so she couldn't watch her own sister in Principality, which is a shame. I think she's moved to Hartbury now to be a bit closer to her. She's quite nice as well. Bill, it is Good Friday. You've picked a song, and also Owain's been touched, Gina. I don't know if you've seen what Owain's gone for.
Oh, he likes a bit of Lizzo, isn't it?
A bit of Lizzo.
A bit of Lizzo, yeah.
Oh, crikey. That's I go the other way, because as Tom knows there, last week we had Billy Joel, and I thought I'd like to take you back. I heard it played last week as a sad story, if you don't mind me saying about it, to the late 50s, about 58, 59. a young gentleman called Emil Ford came to prominence with his group, the Checkmates.
Okay.
And Emil was of West Indian origin. And he sang a song called What Do You Want to Make Those Eyes at Me For? And another one called Counting Teardrops. And I listened to that last week and I thought, that sums up the 60s. And sadly, he fell like a stone from prominence. He was involved in a car crash and killed someone accidentally in a car crash.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Pedestrian. And he
Oh,
never made another record. I
good
think
grief.
he was
Oh,
dropped
wow.
like a hot potato.
Yeah.
And very sad. But I didn't know if you'd have the record, Tom. If you've got it, then have you got it?
We've got it.
Wow.
Well, that's fantastic. Because if you listen to that, I love the dramatic pauses where there's a drum beat and a gap, and it's, to me, it sums up the joy of the late 50s. That's when rock and roll and that sort of music came in then, and
Yeah.
he was part of that. Emil Ford and the Checkmates. What a
I
great
love it.
name.
I know the song, Bill. I do, and
Do
I'm
you?
very much looking forward to it. Yeah.
Oh, good. Well,
What
have
you want to make those eyes of me
for me
for?
for?
That's
If
it.
they don't mean what they say, she
La
sings
dee
that.
dee dee dee. If you could cut the video now, because Bill and I are going to go for a little
Okay,
dance.
You're going to have a little dance.
What she's not saying, Tom, she sings that to Cliff every Saturday.
I hope so. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing this song. I'm unfamiliar with it, so that's coming up for you now. That was our Pembrokeshire Sports Update with Bill Carne. The POS Sports Show with Eaton Evans and Morris is on Monday evening, and looking forward to hearing who we're going to have on that show. Bill, thank you much for your time on a Friday morning. And as Ryan said, a big sporting weekend ahead. We have got Emil Ford and the Checkmates. What do you want to make those eyes at me for coming up? And also for Irvine from Davis Farming, Lizzo, To Be Loved, heading your way. It's 7:30 here on Pure West Radio.
If you see somebody showing any of the signs of a stroke, you don't have to think about it. Dial 9